Bonjour mes amis, aujourd'hui je vais vous présenter la nouvelle Lorraine. C'est très bien et je t'adore. Okay, if I just butchered your language, doesn't matter. Welcome back to War Thunder and welcome aboard the Lorraine 40t. And it's a fantastic tank. It's a French Tech Tree medium tank with a battle rating of 6.3. And I actually cannot really recall why this tank is that amazing. Let me just talk you through some of the stats. First of all, what I have achieved in this tank: 80% win ratio in 25 battles, in which I died 19 times, but I killed 73 tanks. So that's nearly 3 tanks per battle that I killed, nearly 4 tanks per death, and I think it's just outstanding. It's fast, it's entertaining for me, straightforward in terms of flanking, surprising the enemy with superior positioning, because you have over 21 horsepower per ton ratio and you're not slow even when you're star. So this tank is just outstanding. So mobility is awesome. What about the armor? No, it looks like an IS-3 from the front, but no, just if you can kill a T-34 hull waist from the front, you can kill this Lorraine 40t from the front. And that is a medium tank at 6.3, so what is it? Like 3 battle ratings higher, like compared to the first T-34. Your armor does not really count for much. Best kind of effective armor is 90mm lower plate, turret front is 30, 60, 80 millimeters, something like this, or between those values with the oscillating turret. So yeah, armor is nothing. What about firepower? 100mm SA-47 L58 cannon with 49 rounds in total, and you have a 7-shot autoloader with 9 shots per minute. That's around about 6.6 seconds between the shots, and because you don't have that huge of a magazine capacity, for example compared to the AMX-13 SS11 that I presented you a few days ago, you have 38.0 seconds of reload for the entire magazine, regardless of your crew. So yeah, it's straightforward. It's also grind friendly, stock grind friendly, and I think this is something that you should take into account when you look at the French tanks. Now, it's really important that you think about the 100mm obus de rupture round, which is kind of similar, somewhere between the 20-pounder and the long 88 in terms of muzzle velocity and penetration. Post-penetration effect is buffed for the solid shots. We're talking about 1060 meters per second muzzle velocity, 229 millimeters of penetration, and it just does the damage. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's not even fair. The Germans tried their best. They have nothing to counter you unless they field a bunch of RU-251s, and you know, they are premium tanks. So yeah, so much for German balancing. Talking about Germans, you see a lot of down tiers. If your highest battle rating is 6.3 in your lineup, you will see a lot of matches where you are top tier, and you see a lot of 5.7 tanks, Panthers, Tigers, and yeah, a lot of Wirbelwinds and Ostwinds. And it's actually the SPA that is more dangerous to you than the actual German tanks. I'm not even kidding. So yeah, you can go into very advantageous positions. You just can one-shot the enemy left, right, and center. It feels so dirty. It feels, and you know, this tank can be destroyed by everything, so it's not overpowered. But you're making so you appear on places where nobody expects you at this point in time. It feels like you're intercepting the enemy tanks and they have not even the chance to get out of the spawn. It's that ridiculous. And of course, if you go into a squad of 4 of those tanks, but I mean, you just steamroll the Germans with what is light tanks. There are literally just inflated light tanks with autoloaders. But then let's talk about the autoloader. Now, if you are getting carried away, wow, autoloader, solid shot, look at all those kills. Yeah, but it's not that clear. It's not that much of an advantage. For side shots against Tiger 2s, APHE would be really nice. I mean, eventually you're doing the damage. If I could just aim for freaking sake. And yeah, then let's compare it to the British 20 pounder. Rate of fire, you're actually a bit slower, if I can recall it right. They have also a stabilizer. They don't need the clip for the reload, so they can continuously firing. They are slower, but they have somewhat armor. It's a bit trollish armor, especially around the turret. So you can imagine how it goes when you're facing the British. But then you can outflank them big time, especially if you have some MX-13 SS-11s in your team. You're just steamrolling hardcore. It's not even funny. I mean, I've won matches with 6-7 kills within like 7 minutes, and that's on the Maginot Line map, with shots like these not being the exception but the rule. I'm just blown away. I think it's actually pretty unfair for the Germans, because again, unless they don't feel any kind of very capable RE251 players, with Hesh by the way, or HeatFS, it doesn't really matter, you don't have to fear that much. Because of your lack of stabilizers and your lack of armor, they are actually a big threat to you. But the conventional tanks, you just can outplay them so hard. Now, another nice feature for brawling is your gun depression. You have 8 degrees of gun depression and 13 degrees of gun elevation, so it's okay to handle. And 30 degrees of turret rotation speed. That is fantastic. That's straight up 50% better than the best opposition that you can face. Then I have to talk about the matchmaker. I just said that you will very often be top tier with 6.3. This seems like the meta holds on, like 7.7 sucking up everything that is 6.7 and above, and 8.0 getting sucked into 9.0. So 6.3 sucks up everything that is 5.3 and up. So again, you don't face too many T30. You don't face too many IS6s. I've yet to encounter a single IS6. It completely feels rigged. If you see an IS6, he's on your team. You can imagine how the enemy team has to suffer. If also the more capable players, the players that are interested in the game, are now playing the French because they're new, they're exciting, it feels completely rigged. Like 80% win ratio. I am not that good. I'm maybe not the worst player out there, but this is just... It feels like a complete walkover. The enemy team has no time to make any kind of defense or to put them into defensive locations. You're just infiltrating their lines. It's like with my Super Hellcat review. You just are there in an ambush position behind the enemy lines, whereas the enemy lines have not even established. It's that... It's not the autoloader, it's not the mobility, it's kind of that everything in conjunction is game breaking for the enemy team. And mostly they are German. It's just how it is. But you also steamroll American teams. However, American teams have a lot of stuff to threaten you. The 84 Sky Raider is very popular at the moment. If you see a plane flying around, it's mostly an 84 Sky Raider or an 82 Sky Raider because they want to grind with it, the 84. Then furthermore, you know, all the enemy light tanks, especially the M41 Walker Bulldog, then also the M56 Scorpion. I see even T92s a lot, M50 Ontos. You know, all the good 6.7 stuff, T114s, 6.3 stuff, you see it a lot. Also, I see a lot of M26s and M46s driving around these days. So it seems like War Thunder meta shifts a little bit away from armor to mobility, and whereas you previously didn't see too many M26s and M46s, you see them now more often. Yes, because their guns also can one-shot the French tanks if they get the chance to shoot you first. That's the crux. Yeah, again, I have to say the German SPA is more dangerous to you because they can soak up more shots if you shoot them from the side, if your aim is not proper. But Panthers, Tigers, you just do so much damage with a single shot, it's disturbing. It feels really rigged. While playing it, I profit from it, and of course I don't see too many dark sides, but I cannot imagine at the moment a greater punishment than to having to play Germans or Americans with a pure 6.3 lineup. Just no, thank you. Play the French, enjoy the bias. That's all that I can say. It's really mind-blowing, the game experience, and what you just saw is a very small part of the stuff that I just you know, experienced. It's just mind-blowing. It's just outstanding what I can tell you. And I think that's it for me today. Let's have a quick look at the results. 30,000 silver lines and 4,300 research points for the other vehicle. And there you can see I was not even upgraded in the first two battles mobility wise. It's just absurd. This tank is really lovely to drive. So I'm very interested in your opinion. Let me know in the comment section what you think about driving the French. Give me examples, what your experiences are, stock grind with the premiums, without the premiums, at lower tiers, how is the matchmaker for you? Let me know. That's it for me today, so thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields of War Thunder.